Yeah, I'll just say that we can see the effects, we can explain the effects, we can map out the effects, and we can math the effects, but we don't know what's actually causing everything to stick together in the gravitation, as we observe it. Okay, so the Higgs boson is supposed to be able to determine if there's a physical part of that, and they haven't found the answer yet. They're still going to, I guess, try and revamp the particle collider, add more energy, and see if it comes up with a better answer than straight down the middle, which gave them absolutely no clue.
I
Anyway,
don't know. I don't know, but I feel like that, like, people who are not physicists probably don't really understand this very well. I know I
well,
don't.
I mean, I don't know anyone here who's actually a physicist other than,
Well, I mean,
say,
I think Leo is somewhat of one. Yeah.
yeah, he probably is. He probably is I think he is a theoretical physicist, so that's true. Maybe Dr. Weasel over there at Maya's channel is also, but that doesn't mean that us casual, science interested, people who like learning stuff can't talk about it, in that sense. But
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know nothing about that. Like I said, if you want to talk physics, you should stay kept Leo because um, I'm pretty good on, like parts of evolution and stuff like that, but physics, no. No.
okay, so what do you want to talk about in the Bible, or evolution, or
The
whatever?
authorship of the Gospels. How about that? We had a little conversation about that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, you know, John 21:24. He's saying that I saw this, I wrote this, you know, he's saying that
Okay.
I wrote this. So, like, he's the author of it.
So if you read it in a book and it's wrote down, then it must be true. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, it's definitely more probable than not having anything.
I mean, like, the Bible is not really evidence for the Bible. Like, and like I was telling you yesterday, Rick, even Christian scholars agree that the Gospels were anonymous when they added them to the Bible, and they just named them, um, those the names they gave them, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, out of church tradition. I mean, the Catholic Church admits this, and most Bibles actually has a page when you get to the Gospels that actually say that too. I looked in my NIV, and my NIV does not say that. It actually lies and says that they were written by those people. But that I know that's false. I mean, I know that
Well, the NIV says what?
this NIV that I have says that the authors were the apostles, and that's not true. I mean, that's not even, like I said, even Christian scholars admit, and I mean they stick to that these were anonymous, and they were named
Um,
after the apostles by church tradition. I mean, it's
I
not
mean,
something
the
that
thing
like most
is,
lay people find out in church. Like, but once you go to seminary or something like that, you will learn, more about the actual Bible, about who the authors and what they know about it.
so what you're saying is, at like Council of Nicaea or whatever, where they compiled all these books and legitimized them, or held them back from the final copy and the final cut. They went in there and they modified the names of the quote unquote anonymous authors of just some random names or whatever, and so they're not reliable. That's pretty much what you're saying, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It says, when you look at it, it says the Gospels were written anonymously, and their attribution to specific apostles is based on later church tradition. Matthew and John, while the Gospels of Matthew and John are traditionally associated with two of Jesus' 12 apostles. Most scholars believe they were not written by these individuals. And Mark and Luke, but rather figures associated with Peter and Paul. It says the Gospels themselves do not explicitly name their author, and their authorship is based on later church tradition and interpretations. And that's and like three of them are almost identical, word for word, like just some added parts. And so they're even believed to be copied, like just copied, like word for word from one from the other.
All right. Well, what I'll say is, yeah, they are word for word and they could be considered copied, but that just shows me that they also could have been cooperating and verifying with each other the facts of the situation and writing it down for their own witness. So that's definitely plausible. And then for them to for whoever wrote that piece there to say that it was just church tradition that changed the names and assigned names to these anonymous whoever fly by night disciples were and their false witness is totally ridiculous. But I will say that in terms of knowing these specific authors because they didn't like John Hancock them and when they were written because that is probably very difficult to know. Um, it's all over the board depending on who you ask, when and who these things were written. But we certainly know that John wrote John because he put in there that I witnessed these things. I wrote this down.
Okay.
Real fast, there's a super chat. The freak, or I guess it's for both of y'all, but Cody's at. Thank you for that. That's greatly appreciated, Cody. He's asking, is any of the Bible factual? If so, what percent?
You want to go ahead?
Any of the Bible backfill, is that what he said?
Factual.
Yeah, is any of the Bible factual?
Absolutely.
And if so, what percent?
Sure. I mean, the kingdom of Israel existed. It was split into Israel, Judah. That's known. There's the 12 tribes. Egypt is a real place. Babylon was a real place. Nebuchadnezzar was a real thing. Pharaoh was a real thing. Saudi Arabia is a real place. There's a lot of facts in there. Sure. A lot of these people, the people in there existed. King David was real. Solomon was certainly real. Right? Pilate was real. Okay, so there's plenty of facts in the Bible. What percentage?
I would agree. There are some accurate, like people, some places. Not all the places though, but I would say that as much of the Bible is mythology or just history, like stories. We tell stories, and they pass down a whole lot of especially the Old Testament. Those stories came down orally for years before they were probably ever even written down. Like the flood story. I mean, it's almost 100%. It's almost 100% that is like just kind of stolen from the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Thank you so much, Cody. Cody had a super chat. Do rabbits chew cud to both of you?
They chew grass, so probably so, yeah.
I'm not sure. I was asked that a while ago, and I'm not recalling. But yeah, I think that's like some kind of has to do with the Mosaic law and what is actually kosher to their diet and stuff. So I know there's kind of a weird little exception to the thing there, but I can't remember exactly what it is.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate the super
That's
chat.
That's actually how cows make. That's how cows make butter fat, is chewing the cud.
I thought also too that rabbits aren't edible certain parts of the year. Like if you eat a rabbit at a certain point in the year, their flesh is actually like toxin or something. I could be wrong about that, but there's some kind of nuanced little thing with the rodent rabbit, you know, cut thing or whatever. I think there's also other like cattle or some other animal that like doesn't have a split hoof or whatever, but yet it's part of the what the Hebrews would eat or would sacrifice. So, there are a couple little there are inconsist but the thing is, even in science, we have a 3% error built into every single step of the experiment. Let's just say, right? So, like a 3% error for the Bible is well within reason.
So
3%.
Cody had submitted another super chat. Thank you so much, Cody. That is greatly appreciated. He says that the Bible directly says they do, as in the rabbits chew cud, but they don't actually.
Well, I got to thinking,
Okay.
cows like cud is like wheat straw, and that's how they make their butter fat. And so I was thinking about that. The grass is not what not makes the cud; it's the wheat straw. So I guess rabbits probably don't eat wheat straw.
I don't know. They probably would, but I don't know. And yeah, so that would definitely be one of the things that is like a minor little, you know, I mean, to me, that's not a reason to not believe in Jesus Christ and forsake your entire eternal salvation because a rabbit does or does not eat some, rodent pebbles. You know what I mean? Like that would be a foolish reason to not believe in the overall book and message, right? That would be really unsound reasoning, in my opinion.
But I mean, like, wouldn't an all-knowing, and I've heard you claim more than once tonight that God is all-knowing. So wouldn't an all-knowing God know that rabbits don't chew cud, or that bats aren't birds, or um, wouldn't all knowing, especially if he created all of those animals like special creations, he would know exactly what their diet is, and um,
Yes, I would say yes, but it's just showing that because anything mankind touches gets defiled, like literally everything. So it just shows the infallibility of man and his pen to paper ability. And if you bake in the 3%, it's well within reason to still put weight into the overall facts of the Bible. Like Egypt was a real place. Is it still a real place?
yes.
Rabbits may not eat cud there or whatever, but hey, how many details are we going to hash through before I mean, are you going to count the pebbles? Are you going to count the grains of sand on the beach to try and say that, oh, well, there's not that many people?
No, but I mean, like,
so Cody, I do appreciate the super chat, but he's asking, why would God get a scientific fact wrong?
Confusion, maybe.
Well, like I said,
author of confusion. I don't know.
Well, like I said, it could have been just the way it was written down, or it was, muted over time, and that would be a man's issue, not necessarily a God issue. But I don't know if they were eating rodents. I think rodents are off the table anyway, generally from their like the messianic kosher diet. So I don't think it even really matters.
So he's asking one more question.
This is something that really bothers me.
Once again, Cody, thank you so much for the super chat. So he's asking, why would God get a scientific fact wrong? I'm sorry, that's the wrong one.
I was going to say
So I should believe in the word of man.
That's what I wanted to point out. It's like
no, it's
wait a minute. That's what I wanted to point out. Okay, this book is like if God created us, if we're special creations, And he allowed all this history to happen so he could bring his son down and sacrifice him for our sins to keep us from going to hell. This is probably the most important piece of literature that will ever exist. If it is the inspired or whatever word of God, it is probably the most important piece of literature that would ever exist on the planet, because it gives us the history of how we got here, and it gives us the way to prevent from going to hell and to live in heaven for eternity. So that is like the most important book that could ever be published if it's real, if God is real. And he came down here and had it like just inspired people. Obviously, he didn't even make sure that they even spoke all the same languages. And he had it written up for a population that was probably 95% illiterate to begin with. And then he allowed it to be copied, and spelling mistakes and translation mistakes, and people add to it and take from it. And why if this book is so important to humanity and to our future, our souls, why would he have so little concern about making sure that we get it in correct form?
Well, I mean, a short answer would be, why weren't computers made from the start, and we could actually have this digitally, encrypted, even cataloged, and and retained. But that's simply not the case. We have mankind.
That was not an answer to my question.
Well, I'm just saying, there's mankind is full of flaws, and shit is going to happen, over time. And so if we're talking about the message of the book and how it should be preserved 100% correctly, or it's not God, well, we're in a fallen world to begin with. I mean, rain is going to make that parchment wet, and it's going to skew one of those, little scribble of Hebrew that makes one thing turn into a whole other thing, because the Hebrew is, very particular in like this the little scribble of the little tittle, you know.
So was God too lazy? Was he too lazy to make sure, or is he not like? Is he not? Does he not have the ability? Like, is he not all powerful enough to make sure that it's not full of errors and spelling like mistakes and added to and stuff? I mean, like, why couldn't he just make sure that his word was like given to us in the original form? I mean, like, we can go through the book and we can find so many contradictions and so many, and then, like, people who do this for a living, who study the Bible actually for a living in seminary and are scholars on it, are well aware of like all of the different, contexts and things that your average Christian here in the United States doesn't even understand. They don't even know about none of this stuff. So why did God not make sure to preserve his word with something that is so important to humanity? I mean, this is our eternal soul.
So thank you so much for the super chat, Cody. He's asking, would the guest be upset if he joined?
No, I would not.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No, I'm fine.
He was asking about the bloodbath. He wants to have a three-way bloodbath with you too.
Okay, he could, if he thinks he can do better. I mean, it makes no sense to me why people think that God would allow, if an all-powerful God would allow the Bible for us to get it in a form that is not accurate to what he intended for it to say.
Okay, but what you're saying is you want a holy, divine, untouchable, uncorruptible book that has got like a force field around it or something that could never corrupt it, or it would keep it totally 100% preserved from the mouth of God to the ear of a prophet or whoever, and written onto the, perfect, unblemished parchment of some goat somewhere or something. But that's just not what
But,
we. That's just not how it happened. I mean,
but is he
we.
not capable of doing that? Is he
Well, sure,
not?
he's
Is he
capable
not?
of it, but he's
Okay,
capable
well
of
then
it. But
why did he not do that for? I mean, like I said, this is the most. If this is true, it's the most important piece of literature that we would ever have in our life, in our world, in our existence. I mean, if this God was the creator of all of the cosmos, and he, designed Earth specially for us, his little special creations, and he made all these animals and everything, and put us in charge of them and stuff. Why would he? And we have a soul that actually can, on a pretty much, really easy to go to hell or heaven. I mean, like, if you think about it, like, it's a you've got about a 30% chance of even hearing about this religion if you're born into the world, because you got a 30% chance of being
Oh,
two
we
other
have a
religions
buy-in.
of eternal
Cody
being.
H is throwing himself into the bloodbath. Cody H is jumping off the top rope into the bloodbath. He's not. He'll be here in a second.
Okay,
yeah,
bring
well,
him
I'll
on.
just say that the literature and anything man touches is going to be fallible, and the way that I could counter that is by saying that Jesus Christ himself was perfect, and he's the only thing that was perfect in the world. And so that kind of covers that, I guess you could say. I know that's not really
Cody,
a great answer, and I can get more into it, but that's a short answer.
Cody, greatly appreciate the super chat. Welcome to the panel, the Bloodbath Debate. I don't know where you want to jump in, or if you were listening so far, but I would recommend just hanging out for a second and then jumping in when you're caught up.
I am chilling. I'm just going to
Hey,
hear
Cody.
everyone out for a second.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well, I
What
just
we
don't
have-
think that's. I really don't think that's a sufficient answer, though. I think that like I said, an all powerful God he could have, like, okay, the 10 Commandments, he like supposedly wrote them himself, right? And that's
first
how the
time,
story
yeah.
goes. Okay, so why couldn't he just do the whole Bible that way and make sure that we get it in accurate form? Why would he let people jumble around with it and take the chance that people later on, like me and you, who have no idea what was going on at the time, and who wrote these books, and who they wrote them to, and what they're talking about, then why did he not even bother to protect this book and make sure that we got it in accurate form?
Well, I mean, what I'll say is he did bother because he did set Jesus Christ. But look at those 10 Commandments. Originally, even the first guy couldn't keep it right.
Okay, can I
Even the first guy.
can I say something?
Yeah.
I mean, Cody, what's your thoughts on this?
So do you think that the Quran's true?
Yes, I do.
So you attribute it to the same God, or is it a different God?
It's definitely the same God.
Okay, so you think marrying a 6-year-old is cool?
9.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
9.
say that's cool.
That's
enough,
what the
but
Quran says that Muhammad did.
That's not
Are
true.
you a Muslim?
No, I'm not.
Freak?
I just know. The
No,
Quran
freak.
directly says
He's a
that
freak. Yeah,
Muhammad married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage at 9 years of age.
Hey! That's a very sensitive
not true.
topic on YouTube.
I don't think tacos
Okay,
really
I'll
wants
drop
to
that.
There's tons of
Sorry.
other topics you could talk about. It's just that type of thing is really sensitive on YouTube.
I'll stop. Sorry.
I mean, the Quran also says that Muhammad is the last prophet,
Well, but he said that
and that
it's
the
true.
accurate the true and real religion is Islam. So I'm trying to figure out if the freak believes that the Quran is true.
He said that.
Why is he not? Why is he not a Muslim?
Well, I was raised in a Muslim family, but I met Jesus Christ about 12 years ago now. So I became a Christian.
Okay, Muslims believe in Jesus Christ. They just don't believe he was the Son of God. So
that's true.
So you think they're right about that?
No, I don't. I think they're wrong about
But
that.
the Quran says that Muhammad is the prophet and Messiah.
That's not what it says, actually. But
he's not a Messiah. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I mixed it up. I'm sorry, my bad. That's my bad. But still, it claims that he's a prophet. The Bible doesn't even mention him.
As a Christian, though, don't the freak. If the Quran is true and you are a Christian when you die and you have not converted to Islam, you, according to Islam, you will be going to Islamic hell.
Well, see, that's the thing is, the Quran is also glorifying Jesus Christ. It's just been misinterpreted.
Do you believe in free will?
Well, he glorifies.
Yes,
he glorifies him as a prophet.
Wait,
not a
you
son
believe
of God.
in free will?
It also says that Adam is a prophet.
That's true, Robin. But there's a lot of misinterpretation in the Quran, unfortunately, and it's been politically hijacked by.
If you defend the Quran, that's blasphemy.
Politically hijacked because you have the Shia and the Sunni fighting for the power that was left.
Yeah, but it's blasphemy to defend or worship a false idol. If you believe in Christianity.
Right. I can justify everything that I'm saying in the Quran.
No. I'm saying if you believe in Jesus Christ, then believing the Quran is true is blasphemy.
How do you figure?
It says that
because they deny Jesus.
Yeah, it says that within the Bible. Like that's the rule.
I mean, they deny that Jesus is the Son of God. That Muslims do not. Muslims believe that Jesus existed. They don't think he was crucified, for one thing, and they don't believe he was the Son of God. So, like, if you deny that Jesus is the Son of God, that's blasphemous against.
Wait, so do you think Buddhism and Hinduism is real?
I think it's real in that it exists.
Well, like, do you think their texts are accurate, like the Bible and Quran?
I haven't, really read or even, dove
well,
into
Hinduism
that at all. I'm
claims
sure that
multiple gods.
Truth in it, but yeah.
So
and I don't even deny that their gods may exist. I just know that the God of Abraham is the most high God, and everything is subject to him. So I just go straight to the boss and not worry about the other ones. Do I think God is good?
Do you think the Abrahamic God is good? You're claiming there's multiple gods. Do you think the Abrahamic God is good?
Yes.
So all the stuff where he's harmed people is not bad? Like it just had to happen?
No. Sure.
So he didn't create everything.
Well, he's the only deity and the originator.
Well, that contradicts. You just said there's multiple deities.
No, I said there are multiple quote unquote gods, but he's the only one that's divine.
So a deity is different than a god?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Well, you have gods, lowercase g or whatever, that have possibly everything given to them by the Most High in terms of possible powers and function. But
Jesus wasn't a god?
He's the creator.
He was lower than a god? He was like a lowercase god?
He was human until he was glorified.
But he was a lowercase god?
He was human until he was glorified.
So he didn't have God's knowledge?
He may have had the knowledge, but he didn't have God, full full-blown Godhead power.
So he didn't have the Holy Spirit.
He had the Holy Spirit, but he wasn't in God mode.
What is God mode? You can do anything in
Well,
God
that'd
mode.
be where you can't die. You know, deity can't die.
Can you do anything in God mode?
Morally. Yeah.
You can't write a
You
book
can't.
that
Exactly,
won't
Robin.
be translated
Oh.
or like full of mistakes and errors and like false stories, because you know we know that the flood was bullshit, and we know that creation did not occur. Adam and Eve, that's bullshit, and we know that. And the thing about it is most Christians throughout time actually have known that too. Only in the United States, where we have these evangelicals in the South, do people actually think that the Magic Zoo boat and Adam and Eve story are accurate, are real stories. I mean, even the Jews don't even think that. So
Well,
it's just,
I mean, we
That's
can.
crazy.
So you believe the Earth's 6,000 years old, freak?
No, I don't believe that.
So the Bible's not true.
yeah, I think freaks out. Yeah, freaks
I
out.
didn't say that either.
Whoa.
I don't know how old the Earth is. The geological record would say that it's a lot older, but it's irrelevant because you don't get a new Earth until people start writing down anything anyway.
Wait, so did Jesus resurrect and create a new heaven and earth yet, or not?
Resurrected, yes. Created a new heaven and earth, not
But
yet.
I thought when he came back, it was supposed to collapse and like create a new one.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly the timeline, but no, that hasn't occurred yet.
But he resurrected. He came back.
Well, no, he resurrected and was glorified.
Wait, was he the
and
king
is
of
at the right
Israel?
hand of the Father.
Was
Sorry,
he the
what?
king of Israel?
Wasn't that what they posted on his cross? King of the Jews?
We don't know. I mean, that's the story in the book.
What I'm saying was
Like, we don't have
in the record, does anyone ever claim that he ruled over Israel? Like, separate from the Bible, we have historical records that even claim Jesus was a real person. Does any of them claim that he was the king of Israel?
No, but what I will say is that when Pilate asked Jesus if he was a king, he said, "My kingdom is not of this world." So his kingdom is not full yet, come yet.
So the kingdom of Israel isn't real? Like, it's not a real place?
It's not manifested here on earth yet. No.
No, it's not a real place. Because Israel is very clear in the Bible what it is, the people of it, everything. So what you're claiming now is that a center point of the Bible is not a real place or a real thing. You're claiming it's metaphorical.
No, I mean, you keep framing what I think and what what you think I might say or whatever, which is
I'm
not very kind. Okay, that's not the case at all, because the kingdom of the Jewish kingdom hasn't been manifested on earth yet. Okay, and when Jesus first started his ministry, he didn't go into the temple and say, "I'm here to clean up the thieving Romans, and we're going to caliphate all throughout the world, and this is our place now." Even though Ezekiel calls it whatever. Okay.
Wait, so does
he said,
Jesus rule over a real Israel or a fake one?
I don't understand the question.
Like, does Jesus rule over a physical, real place called Israel? Because the prophecy that bases him as the Messiah bases it off of a real king of Israel.
Right. That's true. It hasn't happened yet.
But if he came back, the heaven and the earth collapsed, right?
No, he didn't come back.
Well, he resurrected.
When he resurrected, he was still here, and then he left. And he hasn't come back
So
yet.
you think he's going to come again?
Well, yeah.
So you follow...
Or some people say he came in 70
You
AD
follow the old law?
already.
No, I don't.
Well, if he hasn't came back, you should follow the old law if you believe the book, right?
Yep.
No, I believe the New Testament and what Christ did. I don't.
But what did
I don't see
Jesus
how
say?
you're
What did-
correlating all this stuff to, like it's conflation. Like it's very strange.
I'm just saying
What are you
what your
actually
Freak,
trying
book
to
what
say?
did
says.
Like,
Jesus,
I am literally just
what
telling
did
you what your
Jesus
book
say?
says.
He says,
okay,
not a jot
so
or tittle of the
you think
law
that
will be
when
changed
Jesus was here, he was supposed to
until
usher
he
in the
comes
kingdom
back.
of Israel away from the Romans or something?
No, I'm at the prophecy that people base Jesus being the Messiah off, or one of them. There's multiple that people try to claim, right? But one of them that they try to base it off is that he was a king of Israel because he sits at the right hand of God now that he's in heaven or whatever. He never ruled over Israel. I can name people that fill the prophecy. Well, not off the top of my head. I can go do some Googling and give you names of people that fulfill the prophecies more than Jesus did. So I guess that's more the topic I'm trying to get at. It's not like I got you. I'm literally trying to ask your
All right.
answers for these things. Like you think I'm presupposing stuff and I'm not.
All right, here's the answer. When the very first thing Jesus did when he started his ministry was he got up and he read the scroll from Isaiah 61, which says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to preach the good tidings to the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim the liberty of the captives, the
But
opening of the
what does
prison
this
that are
have to do
bound."
with him
Blah
being
blah
the
blah blah
king
blah.
of Israel?
He didn't declare his kingdom on earth yet. He came to basically
So
destroy
he
death
didn't
for all
fulfill the
people, not just
prophecy.
Israel. So that's the very
He
first thing that
also
Wait,
he
wait, wait.
he
declared for
also
So he
said,
himself.
didn't fulfill the
That's what he
prophecy.
declared.
He has not filled.
I
He
mean,
has not fulfilled the
not
prophecy.
yet. Not yet. He fulfilled that prophecy.
No. He hasn't. We
Sure, he did. That's what he
well,
said.
if
He declared
so,
that.
is he the king, or he has been the king, or he hasn't of Israel, of the physical place? Because that's what the prophecy is saying.
Well, he's the king. He's the king because he's glorified. Okay. So when he read that, he said, and you're
Okay, look,
hearing this
let's move
prophecy
on to
is
something
fulfilled.
else. Let's move on to something else because this is getting very circular, and I'm not just gonna like keep repeating the same thing, and I feel like it's not productive for you to do the same thing. So I'm gonna mute for a second. Let's
Well, wait a
move on to
second.
a different topic.
Why would he declare? Why would
okay,
he declare that as his ministry, and then you say that he should have done something else? That doesn't make any sense.
okay, look, the freak. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 18, Jesus says, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or little or tittle shall not pass from the law till all be fulfilled." So why do you think that the old law is not supposed to be followed? Because Jesus was a Jew, he was not a Christian, and he said that the law still remained until till heaven and earth were, came, like, were replaced or whatever. And so he said not to change that, and so that's not been fulfilled. So why do you think, like, you're following, like, Christianity follows Paul's teachings, not actually what Jesus said? Because Jesus said actually opposite things of what Paul said, but Paul came along and changed a whole lot of what supposedly Jesus said.
Yeah, he did say those things, and what I would say is the construct is based in the law. In other words, if you break any of God's laws, you're subject to the curse of the fallen earth. Okay, but Jesus did fulfill the law, and so a lot of those things just don't apply anymore.
So why is the Quran true?
Because it glorifies the God of Israel and Jesus Christ,
No,
and
it's a
is
different
justified.
God. It's Allah.
It's the same God which is justified by
No, you already
Genesis
said there was
16.
multiple gods, and that's how this could exist. You already agreed to that.
No, I stated that, yes, based on, like, the Hindu or the whatever, but
No,
Genesis
you said
16.
specifically
Hold on a
that
second. Hold on a second. Genesis 16 justifies Muhammad and the Quran.
I'm sorry, can you read that to me? What is it? What does it say?
Basically, the angel of the Lord talks to Hagar and tells her that she's going to bear many, bear a son, and he's going to be a father of many nations, and blah blah blah. Go back to Sarai, all that stuff. So God literally talked directly to her and made promises, and so the Quran and Muhammad are just fulfillments of some of those promises.
All right, Robin, take back over. I'm gonna be quiet for a second.
Okay. It says, until heaven and earth pass away, not so much as a yud or stroke will pass from the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is earth still here?
Yes.
Is heaven still up there?
Yes.
You think?
The construct is made in the law, I guess you could say.
That means that you are supposed to be following the law of the Torah until heaven and earth have passed away. So, like, do you eat shellfish?
Yeah, I eat everything. Well, mostly.
Okay. Do you like mix your fabrics?
I don't follow the kosher diet or anything.
He's going to the same place I am. Sad.
Okay, I'm just trying to say. I mean, I don't understand. Like, why do Christians cherry pick like the 10 commandments they like, and there's 603 more that they just randomly decided that they didn't have to follow anymore, when God says that you have to follow every one of them until heaven and earth pass away.
Sure. The Mosaic law is a physical kind of adherence law. It's a way for the flesh to physically be righteous before God. Okay, it has nothing to do with the heart of a person or the goodness of the heart, or evil of the heart of a person, and that's what Jesus was teaching basically. And also we have in Luke 14.
Jesus is the one that said this.
Right.
He's the one that said that the law will not pass away and it will not be, you will follow the law until heaven and earth pass away. I mean, that is that's in red letters in the book.
Right. We also have.
Okay, that's where somebody followed Jesus around and like wrote down in red letters all the words he said, and that was what they put in there. So supposedly these are like quotes from Jesus.
Right.
These things right here, like just like and so why did he say that if he meant that you did not have to follow the Mosaic law?
He didn't say that we didn't have to follow the Mosaic law. And
has anybody read it yet?
He did fulfill the law, but also he did say
in Luke
11:41. Read Luke 11. Hey,
what do you want to read?
Luke 11:41.
You want me to read Matthew real fast, 17 to 20?
Yeah, but then if you could.
Yeah, I want you to read
Matthew 5, 17
I want you to read what Jesus said.
Jesus teach about the rules from God. No tank I stay here for get rid of the rules from God and the stuff the guys talk for God when tell. I never come for wipe out the rules from God. I come for make everything they talk about happen. That's right. And I tell you guys this too. The sky and the world no going to change nothing before everything the rules from God go and tell happen. Not even one dot or one small line of the rules from God going to change till the rules do what's supposed to do. Whoever no do just one small kind rule from God, because he think that rule nothing, and he teach the other guys both tell that rule nothing too, the king from the sky gonna make that guy just like he nothing. But whoever do what all the rules from God tell foe do, and teach the other guys foe do too, the king from the sky gonna make him important. I stay tell you guys this.
I believe now.
If you do the right things, moment the teacher guys that teach the rules from God and the Pharisee guys, God in the sky, no gonna come your king. And what was the other one?
That would be Luke 11. Hold on.
Is Luke
11:41.
a direct quote from Jesus?
Yes, it is.
Luke 11:41, right?
That's correct.
So Jesus scolds the Pharisee guys and the teachers that teach the rules from God.
That's what that says.
When Jesus talk, one Pharisee guy tell him fo come his house fo eat. So he go inside and sit down to eat. Oh, fo eat. Sorry, not to eat. My bad. But the Pharisee guy see that Jesus no wash hands first before he eat the way the Pharisee guys do, and he think plenty about that. And Jesus, the one in charge, tell him, you Pharisee guys, you guys clean only the outside of the cup and the plate, but inside you stay full of bad kind of stuff, and you stash every from only you. You guys know tank. That one that when make the outside make the inside too.
Nice.
Give stuff to the people that don't know nothing from the stuffs you get, and you know what? Everything gonna come okay for you guys. The way God see you.
There you go.
Oh man, my brain just melted.
So right there, basically, Jesus is saying everything is clean unto you. That's the King James version. So the kosher diet just was abolished right there. Okay.
So you're saying that Jesus changed his mind? Like he changed his mind?
What I'm saying,
I mean, like it also says that not one jot or tittle shall be changed.
You said you're supposed to follow the law until he comes back.
That's right. So now you're saying that you don't have to follow it. So you're saying that Jesus changed his mind, which makes it seem like this is subjective on whether he thinks we already even have to follow these laws.
Well,
I thought God was unchanging, even though
if you heard,
does change.
Well, the living God is not subject to.
Do you follow the laws or not?
Past like that, okay. So what Jesus is saying, and you heard at the beginning of what he was reading there, that the heart of the Pharisees was hardened, even though they were following the physical rules of the law. So yeah, you could be clocking in every day on time and still be a miserable piece of garbage. Right? Or you could be like someone who comes in late and makes a ton of money for the company. Okay, that's the difference.
All right, I see that.
Hang on. BS was pimping my titty shots, and Professor Hizzle donated $2.
No. Hey,
why you wearing
Thank you so much, Professor Hizzle. I appreciate you, brother.
You need an itty bitty teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
He said for all these titty shots, I'm kidding.
I think that Freak, you said a second ago that Jesus abolished the law, but before that you said you have to follow the law. So
I said fulfill.
you did say that. You said, well, maybe you said we should follow the law, so I can't say we have to, right? But you said we should follow the law, but the law is abolished. Which one is it?
Well, I said it was fulfilled, okay, because the construct is built in. The laws of God are built into the construct. If you break God's law, you will suffer a curse.
So let me ask you a question: Is Ted Bundy going to hell or heaven?
I don't know.
But is he? He repented. He turned to Christian.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible, but I'm not the judge of that.
Wait, so Jesus abolished the law, but he didn't.
He didn't abolish the law. He fulfilled it.
Okay, so Ted Bundy isn't going to go to. He's going to go to heaven because he repented.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
somebody explain to me some mod and chat what a straw man is, please. Thank you.
The straw man is him bringing up Ted Bundy. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I don't know the guy's full I know his heart.
So a straw man is constructing a false version of the other person's position or argument or something that you're having in the general, it's going to be involved with some type of argumentation, right? But and basically misrepresenting their position in a way so that you can easily knock it down.
Yes.
Okay, so me saying I don't know if Ted Bundy is saved is a straw man.
No,
I did not. I did not corner you. I just asked a question. I was just asking a question.
Is not a straw man.
Okay, good, because I don't know. I don't know his testimony. I don't know his heart, and I can't make that call.
And I'm not going to hold you to anything. I was just asking, man. Like, I was not trying to strawman you. I hope it didn't come across that way. I'm just trying to, because, like, if the thing is, it that goes hand in hand with the law being abolished or not being abolished. Like, you can't say it's abolished and Ted Bundy isn't going to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, either it's abolished
you keep saying abolished. You keep saying it abolished. Jesus fulfilled the law. He didn't abolish the law.
Okay,
so he's still in play. But he didn't fulfill the law. He did not fulfill the law.
Yeah, because
the Messiah was supposed to come back and lead the Jewish people in battle against the Romans and defeat the Romans and throw the Romans out and completely out of the promised land, and install back as king over the Jews. I mean, that is the prophecy that was in the. So he did not fulfill that.
No, he didn't. He actually proclaimed at the very beginning of his ministry that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has sent me to preach the good news to the imprisoned, the brokenhearted and the whatever. So Jesus declared what his mission was, what his mission is. The Messiah that the Jews are waiting for hasn't happened yet. Okay.
So isn't that two non-fulfilled prophecies?
No, because if you look at it from Messiah's point of view, what would you do? Give the kingdom of God
No. I'm saying within this conversation, you have admitted that two prophecies were not fulfilled yet. I mean, you believe they're going to be fulfilled, but you have admitted two have not been fulfilled yet. Is that correct?
No, because I don't even know what which prophecies you're talking about.
Well, Jesus was never king of Israel. You agreed to that.
Well, he's been glorified, so he is the king of Israel.
So he ruled over physical Israel whenever he was alive.
No, he didn't, because he wasn't king.
He didn't defeat the Romans either. He didn't defeat the Romans either.
So that's two prophecies that you're admitting that he did not fulfill, that you base your belief off of.
But even you saying that he didn't fulfill that is a misinterpretation by the Hebrews, okay? Because
if you think the Hebrews,
Bible, I mean their own book.
If you think the Hebrews got it wrong, how do you believe the Bible at all?
Oh, shut up, Bond.
Well, for me it's easy, but they are assuming what Messiah will do, and they didn't take into account what Messiah actually did. And they have a vested interest in denying Jesus Christ. So they do.
All right, Robin, I'm going to take another break. Take back over. I'm sorry.
Well, I think Tacos has somebody in the back there that
is either side conceding?
No, I won't. I'm not going to concede. No.
The freak, are you conceding?
No, I'll take
the official rules of the bloodbath are. One of the sides has to be removed from the bloodbath, so that's $25 to remove somebody, or one of the sides has to concede, or disqualification due to.
No, I'm not going to concede.
Words and stuff that people shouldn't be using, right?
Jesus did not fulfill the law. Jesus did not, he did not fulfill the law. He did not fulfill any of the prophecies. He did not fulfill, he did not come and lead Israel into battle and defeat the Romans, completely destroy the Romans and remove them from the promised land and restore, it like he was supposed to, after the Messiah came, because actually the Messiah was never meant to be the Son of God. The Messiah was just going to be the leader and king of Israel. That didn't matter. He was just going to be the person that came and saved them, because that's what it means, savior. And because they were being occupied by Rome, and they did not like being occupied by Rome, because for one thing, Rome demanded that you like sacrifice or give to their gods too. Actually, that's like the Romans. Everybody always says that Romans like hated the Jews because they worshipped other gods, and no, the Romans had no problem with as many gods as you wanted to worship. They did not care. They were a people of many gods, but you had to also pay tribute to their gods too, because they believed those were the gods that controlled the weather, and whether they won battles, and whether there was good crops and all that kind of stuff. And so they didn't want to piss their gods off. And so you had to also give to their gods as well as your own. And the Israelis did not like doing that. Because they were a monotheistic group of people who thought that was bad to give sacrifices to other gods. So
okay, so
but Jesus did not fulfill any of that prophecy. That was the prophecy. I mean, like it always kind of made me, even when I was a Christian, it always seemed really strange to me. It's called like cultural appropriation. It's pretty much what like Paul did to the Jews. He just came in and like stole their God and changed everything and like worked it around to where their own stuff about their own God is not even legitimate anymore. That I mean, I and Jesus was a Jew. He was not a Christian.
I'm still trying to figure out if he thinks the old law is intact or not.
The law has been fulfilled. Okay, so it is intact. It's just not what God is judging you by at this point.
So
he judges the heart.
So God doesn't judge anyone. So it doesn't matter if you believe.
I don't know how you get judging from judges the heart to he doesn't judge anything. I don't know how you get that.
Oh, I didn't hear you say judges the heart. What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means that he is thoroughly vetting you if you're worthy of his kingdom or not by the time you pass on from this place.
Where does it say that in the Bible?
I'm giving you inside knowledge.
But you're basing your belief off of the Bible.
Is this really a question?
It was a statement more so.
All right, so, okay. Next.
Well, you don't see the contradiction in that?
No, I don't see any contradiction except for the fact that a lot of what I'm hearing is actually what the Jewish rhetoric is about Christ.
You believe the book. You believe the book, but you don't have to follow the book. And you can make up what the book means.
Sure, if that's what you want to believe, dude.
No, I'm asking you. That's essentially what you're telling me by everything we've said. I've shown you many factual errors within the Bible, and you keep waving your hand to them. And then now I'm asking you, do you have to follow the laws of the Bible or not? And you can't give me a second.
Wait a second. You're showing me factual errors, but you keep insisting that Messiah was supposed to bring in the kingdom of the Jews or whatever, and I'm refuting that. So,
do rabbits chew cud?
Seriously? Seriously?
Say no to freak. We learned better now.
I already forgot what he said about it. So
God, look, like God did not have time. He was too busy doing to make sure that the Bible was preserved for us. It's our only, the most important thing that we will ever read according to Christians.
Well, you've got to follow it, but you make up how you follow it.
Is dependent upon this, and he just handed it to a bunch of first graders and let them color in it and fucking tear pages out and fucking roll joints with them, and And he didn't even care. It was like, let them figure this shit out on their own.
Well,
and then I'll just hide and watch for a couple thousand years or so.
When you kind of summarize it up like that, it seems kind of weird. But I mean, the thing is, this is a place where souls are created, okay, and this is a place where humans aren't the only things being judged here, okay, and so to play out, linear time has to play out. The law had to be fulfilled. Jesus had to fulfill the law. The kingdom of the Jews is coming, but if we could agree that when Jesus was here, he was constantly bagging on the Pharisees and the religious leaders of Israel and at the time, okay? So given that fact, why would he hand over the kingdom to those people who weren't ready yet to operate and run and administer a kingdom on the earth? But instead, he actually defeated death for all people in every place on the earth. And so if you were a Messiah, what would you do?
If I was a Messiah, I would make sure that my freaking book was correct, and I would make sure that people knew what was going on. And I would come down every now and then and say, hey, here I am, motherfuckers, I'm real. Y'all can stop wasting your time on YouTube arguing about this. And I wouldn't make all my believers look like fucking idiots constantly. So that because they're trying to defend something that, you know what I mean? Like, the best thing he could do, at least for the people who support him, is to try to help them out in a little bit in debates every now and then.
If I was Messiah, I would fly and shoot lasers from my eyes and exclaim that I'm the Messiah.
All right, well,
I would go around I would heal babies from cancer.
Wait a minute, is the freak conceding?
No. Literally, God was guiding Israel out of Egypt. He's, divided the sea. He was a flame by night.
So the Bible tells complete truth.
So, and they saw him on Mount Sinai descend and showed them part of his
glory. The Bible's 100% true.
They still didn't believe. So you're telling me that if he was floating around as an angel every once in a while here, that we would believe?
Ignoring my questions is conceding, buddy.
No, it's not. I'm saying something and you're just interrupting me. So now you can ask your question or whatever.
If God could have just made it to where we all knew he existed. You know what I mean? Like, you would just know. I mean, like, babies are born. They don't know. Babies are not born with, like, ideals about gods until somebody lies to them and tells them about gods. And so, like, if they're born in India, then they are told about the Hindu gods. And if they're born in the Middle East, they're probably told about Allah. And if they're born in other places, they might hear about Buddha. So why does he not like anybody except like Americans or like English people? I mean, why does he not make sure that all these other religions are not taught? Why does he not make sure that when we're born, we just know God exists? Because, like, he's a parent supposed to be, a father. Okay, my father, I know my father exists because I've met him in person. I could call him on the phone right now and wake him up. He probably wouldn't be very happy about it, but I could sit there and let you hear his voice. I mean, he's like a phone call away, and thank goodness he's still here. So, but he's never hid from me. I mean, sometimes he don't answer the phone if he's on the golf course, but he doesn't hide from me, and he does not let me try to guess around where he is, and he sure doesn't like let me go through hardships without ever even bothering to come and help me.
All right.
Do you think God answers your prayers, freak?
Yes.
So there's Christian children that starve every year. Why would he answer your prayers if you're not starving, but not answer the starving kids?
I didn't say he answered all of my prayers or whatever. And
no, but even if he answers one, they're praying for food. That's one prayer. Even if he answers one.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why. Like I said, there are
So he's not all
other
powerful.
things. Well, no, there's other things that are being judged besides humans in this place. So it's probably something to do with whoever's
So a child
imposing
deserves
evil
to
or
starve?
oppression on. Oops, sorry. Imposing evil on those people are going to be judged for it.
A child deserves to starve then?
Yeah, but what's he got more important than feeding people or like curing kids? I have a cousin, like they are very religious people. Not like me. They are very religious people. Him and his wife both. They attend church all the time. Took their kids to church and everything else. And their 17-year-old boy is playing basketball one day. Has been like played baseball, basketball, and everything else all his life. Never knew a thing was wrong with him. He drops dead on the basketball court. Had a hole in his heart. Nobody knew. And why? What is the good of this God if being one of his followers doesn't even protect your children from something like that right there? That's what I want to know. And that's a true story. And I've never understood it because my cousin and his wife are even more religious now than they were then. And and I was already done with God by then anyway. So, but just why? What good is he?
What if God harmed me, freak?
What if, right?
No,
But
what if God harmed me?
I don't
What if
know what.
it did? God did harm me.
All right, care to explain?
Because I was a part of the church and my family disowned me and I lost any kind of loving or caring relationships with people in my life because God said I was a bad person based on the way that I lived my life.
Wait a second. So you became a believer, and then your family?
No, I was born into a believer. My family disowned me because of the law of God, the way they believed in God, and I was sent into the world to fend for myself, and it made life really hard for me. So God harmed me.
Do you still believe in God?
Not at all. But God harmed
Okay,
me.
so
Even if I believe or don't believe, the God you believed in harmed me. The Christian God, because he told these people that this is the way they're supposed to feel towards me.
all right. I mean, there's a lot of reaching in this, but
There's
let's
no
just start
reaching.
at.
That's the truth. That's
Okay,
the legitimacy of what happened. That is the only divide I had with those people within my life.
okay. So you're saying that the God that you don't believe in is the reason why you lost your family?
Yes, because people organize themselves around the God that is imaginary that you believe in.
Okay, and so was it the disbelief that separated you, or was it something else that they believe is like doctrinal that it may or may not be the case?
It was because I did not follow the old law.
Okay, and so you were basically, I guess, excommunicated or whatever, and that is what caused you to
I
not
mean,
believe in God.
I don't want to make it that dramatic. I wasn't like excommunicated. It's that like literally one whole side of my family will not interact with me, will not talk to me, will not even try to have a part in my life. And it's because they believe in the Christian God. And that
Okay,
harms me. That's a direct harm based on the religion. Like it might not be like you can say, I guess it's not God directly causing it, right? But
right.
if God created everything, he created me the way I am, so he put me within this situation.
It could be. It may not be easy to hear this, but it could literally be for their judgment, not yours. Okay, if they are pious Christians, if
Chat
these
out
are if
loud.
these are not spirit-filled pious Christians, they are going to be judged for what they did to you.
Can
It
I
might not
read
bring
this
you any comfort
backspace
right
chat
now,
real
but
fast?
Yes.
You are confused. I said your mom was your first mover, and then you said she was the big banger. And so I corrected it to your mom as the big banger. Then you said that I refuted myself, but I just corrected myself after you corrected me. Thank you.
No, but like the point I'm getting at is like it caused me mental harm to deal with those situations. So like whether or not you want to believe or think God's all good, that is a like people give their personal experiences all the time of how God helped them or pushed them forward, but my personal experience is it pushed me back.
How do I know with my father? Maud, I look just like him. I'm almost picked out of his ass. That's how I know it's my father. But guess what? Like he comes around.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
I think that's something right there. That is such a lame question. Lame.
Cody, I certainly understand kind of what you went through because I am dealing with the same thing, okay? Kind of in the opposite, but it's literally the same thing. So what you have to take into account is if these people aren't necessarily born again Christians and are just following the letter of the law, which it says not to do in the New Testament, but the Spirit is what brings life, then they will be judged for that. And unfortunately, yeah, you have to suffer through that, but it could work out for your good. That still doesn't give you really an actual reason to blame it all on God. It could be the devil and those people and not anything to do with
The
you,
devil.
unfortunately.
But God created the devil, right?
Well, he created Lucifer.
Why
That's
would
the
God
devil?
allow a supernatural entity? Okay, he didn't give us any special powers. We can't even see these invisible beings that are flying around, like inhabiting in our life and moving into our body like they did in the pigs, and doing all this stuff. He didn't even give us the ability to see these things, let alone detect them in any way. He didn't give us any supernatural powers to protect ourselves. He just turned these evil entities that are invisible loose on his mortals, his mere mortals. And then if we don't resist against them and protect ourselves from them, they can lead us into hell. I mean, what kind of shit is that? What kind
So
of parent is it?
That's
God?
a literal bona fide, legitimate gripe. And even I asked that of God because it's true. How can we fight an enemy we can't see, right? So yeah, that's a legitimate argument against the God of Abraham.
I mean, it's a legitimate reason to think that this God is not there.
Well,
I feel like
there. It's just I don't see how this could be an actual true judgment if we can't even know and see where our enemy is.
You are so excusing his failures. Why do men have
that's
nipples?
one thing I will
I feel like
is that we should be able to see our enemy, but we can't.
freak. I feel like this keeps repeatedly happening. Like we keep coming to points and you keep saying, well, actually, yeah, that's not true. Or actually, yeah, it can't work that way. Or yeah, I can't explain that. So at what point is it just not reasonable?
Well, for you to give up your faith completely on some yay-holes that happen to be in your family because they aren't,
Whoa, you're attacking my personal experience right now. I wouldn't attack your personal experience if you brought it up.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that I don't see how that is a reason why you should abandon him altogether.
That's not the only reason. I've listed several reasons why I don't believe. I'm giving you arguments why I don't believe. That's the only reason I'm having this discussion with you, is because I truly believe that you believe, and if there's something that you know that I don't know, I'd like to know it. But nothing we've came to that you have told me has led me to, I don't know, I can't answer that, I can't explain. But we've had about, I think, 3 or 4 topics where you've came to that conclusion.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that I don't see how this could be a reasonable judgment if we can't even know and see where our enemy is.
I feel like
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, you know how to frame better than a communist carpenter. Okay, so I don't appreciate
Ad
that. Oh, I
hominem
wish you would
attacks
stop.
isn't
I
cool.
wish you would
Ad
stop.
hominem
Okay.
attacks aren't cool.
Well,
Okay,
it
in the
doesn't matter
Bible,
because
in
that's
the
what you're
Old
doing,
Testament.
and I have to stand up for myself because I'm not going to put up with that anymore before I do start trolling you. Okay,
Look,
and I'm trying to
in the
answer
Old
your questions the
Testament.
best that I can. I'm trying to answer the questions the best that I can, and you are, you know, dismissing them or hand waving them, like you said, or just moving on to something else. It's not very, you know, I'm frustrated as you are. Okay, if that makes you feel any better.
In the Old Testament, it says if you have a rebellious son, that you are to take him to the elders and take him to the gates of the city and stone him to death. So it you know, you want to say that like Cody's parents did not follow what God orders to do. But it says in the Bible that if you have a rebellious son, that you are to take him to the gates of the city, and stone him to death. So, to me, it
Okay,
sounds like
so
they did not even follow the law by just like not even having anything to do with him. They actually were supposed to have took him to the gates of the city and stoned him to death. That's what God says.
right. So, but that what they did do is more in accordance to the law and following the law than it has to do with the heart of the matter, which is what Jesus was teaching.
Okay,
Okay,
so
the
so
heart
so
abandoned.
when
The
Jesus
heart
came.
abandoned this kid. The heart abandoned this kid, and that's what they're going to be judged for ultimately before God. Not whether they stoned the guy at the gate.
That's not what God says in the Old Testament. I mean, He tells them that if they even try to like save their child, that they will be judged too. I mean, so
Okay,
there's like to me the hate-filled Christians who practice slavery and treat women like property are actually following the Bible actually more closely than the progressive Christians. Although I will say I would much rather be around a progressive Christian than those people. But if you want to go with who is following the theology of the book, I mean, it's pretty easy to see that the ones that are being all nice and Jesus was a hippie, a socialist hippie or something like that are not accurate.
okay.
The
So
freak, the freak. I took a
Crouched down. Jesus crouched down and started writing in the sand when they brought the woman that was caught in adultery, right to his lap or whatever, and said, are we going to stone this tramp or not? So he started writing in the sand or whatever, right? So that is kind of like a representation of the old law versus the new law.
And
Okay,
any biblical scholar
the
will tell
freak.
you that story was added much later than that book.
I want to clarify one thing real quick, guys. I'm sorry. The freak, I wasn't trying to attack you. I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you. I'm sorry that it came off that way. I'm going to be quiet for just a second.
Well, we're supposed to
I
be
appreciate that.
doing a bloodbath anyway, so we're supposed to be attacking
Yeah,
in
that's
some way.
true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with his family, they've already judged him. In other words, Jesus said, "Judge not, lest you be judged." Well, they judged him, so they're already kind of not in the will of the Lord, which is to love God and love thy neighbor, right? So they judged him based on Old Testament law, even though they're supposedly Christian. I'm assuming. I think that's what he said. And so they're already in a conflict. They probably just are too stubborn to even see it. Anyway,
I don't
as
know.
far as your
I
cousin
know everybody's
goes,
getting bored. This is
if
not near as this is not near as boring as listening to people talk about why they should have debates about morals on the internet, though.
Do we have a concession on either side yet?
Heck no.
I forgot what the topic was. What was the topic again?
He believes
I
in the
don't know.
Christian God.
The Bible, the Bible, the Bible.
So the freak is saying he's not wrong, and you're saying you're not wrong.
I'm saying they should concede because it's 2-on-1 anyway. So
I'm going to take the atheist stance, and I don't have anywhere to be. I have no reason to concede. I feel like you've dropped like 4 or 5 points at this point in time.
And I'm just going to stay because I'm a hard-headed bitch.
That's good enough for me. I'm the same way. I'm a hard-headed bitch. Oh, when we were talking tacos the other day, and you asked me about how I could justify somehow equate Christianity with Islam, there was one specific verse that I should have brought up instead of going to Genesis 16, and I'm going to look that up right now. So,
look, I've seen Missing Mod. I've never seen Missing Mod.
yeah, Missing Mod super chat.
I've never seen it. This is like the first time I've ever sent a super chat. Why do men have nipples?
For Robin. Yep. Why do men have nipples?
What else would we bite?
Oh God. I'd rather you bite that than something else, though.
Wait, so
that's fair.
Okay. Wait, so freak.
Because God decided they needed nipples. It's our special creations, God. He's the one. Ask him.
All right, the audience is demanding a bloodbath winner because it's been going on for so long. So I think we have to go with
I
think we have to go with the audience vote.
Okay, so, audience vote.
I've had a vote up for 41 minutes, and it's got 26 votes right now. Let me end that poll. So with 4%, we had 3% actually. Somebody got a last minute voted. Cody ended up with 3%. They said no one won. That got 19% of the vote. The Freak ended up with 26% of the vote. Robin ended up with 50% of the vote. Is the victor. Robin, you are the Bloodbath champion.
Yay!
Way to go.
Love it.
Y'all.
Yeah.
I will pass y'all's money out later next week.
Yeah. You
Robin,
want
pick a Bible
just because
verse.
Pick a Bible verse? Let's see. You may take slaves from the nations around you.
You know what verse?
I don't remember what numbers it is. I don't remember all that.
Probably
I know it's in Deuteronomy. I think it's in Deuteronomy, maybe.
Leviticus 25, 44 to 46,
Leviticus,
right?
Another one of those great books right there. Leviticus and Deuteronomy. Two of God's finer moments right there.
Man, this is going to be interesting how Pigeon talks about slaves.
Guys, I had a good conversation with you guys. It was nice. Robin, I appreciate your commentary as well.
Oh, thank you, Cody.
Appreciate that.
The Freak, I love you, man.
I love you too, so
the guys and Wahinies that you guys like come slaves for real kind, they gonna come from the other peoples that live around you guys. You guys can buy slaves from them. You guys can buy the people that live near you for one short time too, and the people from the Ohanas that born inside your land for come your slave. You guys can give the slaves that's not Jew guys to your kids when you make for your kids. For come your kids slave. You guys can make them slaves all the time they stay alive. But you better not give hard time to the Jew guys that's your slave. Cause the Israel people, they your brother guys.
Hey,
nice, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Get wrecked, nerd. Got fucking dominated, dude.
Absolutely dominated.